What's going on? Welcome into 4th and 5, presented by Ortho Arkansas. Once again, we always got to give a shout out to Ortho Arkansas, doing what they need when it comes to all your orthopedic needs. Like I said, you got a hip, you got a back, you got this strain, you got all these things going on. We get a little older, Ortho is the place to be. They just don't cater to athletes, which they're amazing at, literally everyday needs. And so if you're looking for a place to make sure you get oiled up and moving well again, Ortho, your place to be. I'm DJ Williams. We are ready for another episode of Let Grant Cook. Grant Cook here with us, man. Very excited to have you back. A lot to talk about. Not only the game, but we got to talk about our sponsor, DDK. You know, I thought they loved us both, but it seems like they have a favorite child because they sent you some merch. I can't even get no merch. Yeah.
They did. Mr. Jerry Davis over at DDK hooked me up. He got me a nice hat here. Need to hit him up and get a T-shirt or something so I can really represent DDK.
That's nice.
I do want to talk about DDK for a second. So since 1962, Mr. Jerry Davis and DDK Forestry and Real Estate have been helping people, just like the people that watch this show, right? People that own land, have forestry, all those different things, farmland, all of that. They're there to help. And so when we think about getting land appraised, or not knowing, hey, I've got this tree line, or I've got this block of woods, and I want to know how much this is worth. I don't even know where to start. Reach out to DDK, have a simple, quick conversation with them. They are experts in this field. So, like I said, reach out to these guys. They'd love to hear from you, and they can definitely help you. And I know we've been having a little bit of fun with, me splitting logs and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what else can we bring to this table. Why don't you put me in like a tractor or combine this week out there? Once again, what the DDK does, right? They appraise farmland and all these different aspects of agriculture and that. So throw me in one of those, man. I want out there tending my crops.
Okay, you're going to be one with the land, out there, hands dirty. Yeah, okay, I got it. And perfect for Arkansans because, we got our farmers here and we love them and we appreciate them. So, DDK, once again, thank you. It'd be nice to get some stuff too. All right, maybe this. If y'all give me a hat, I'll give you some of this new 4th and 5 merch that we got going on as well. We got a whole lineup coming. But, Grant, as fun as that is, let's switch gears. It's time to get serious. All right. A lot to talk about up front, LSU. I mean, hell, there's a lot to talk about all over the field, but this is what you're here for. You cook it up on the front, and you let us know exactly what is happening. It seemed like the thing is, Grant, it seemed like this team, especially up front, was doing so much better, progressing week by week. And I could be wrong. It just seemed like they took a step in the wrong direction. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I mean, they did switch positions. Blackstock came in, played guard. They put Amir and Harris out at right tackle. And I don't know if y'all know this, going from inside, having help all around you, to then being outside all by yourself, that's a different monster in itself. So tell us about your thoughts about that game and what you saw.
Yeah, I think we knew that the LSU front was good, right? We knew they had a good defense. We always know they're athletic. And it is difficult to see, I don't say to see per se, but oh, sorry. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, Lily.
Look at that.
I'm shooting this with Mr. DJ, okay? Dang.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Keep it rolling, man. Hey, man, we got lives. We try our best to fit this in and make it work. I got my whole family downstairs right now as we're taping this, but we're still going to talk about it. That was real sweet.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool. Look at Papa Grant over there. Had to be dad real quick.
Kids right there, man. It's almost bedtime, so we'll get rolling on this. But difficult transition, right? Blackstock moves into guard, right? A little bit of a different position for him. I think maybe a better position for Blackstock. He's got some guardrails there with the center and the tackle next to him, and I don't think he played a bad game. We're going to look at some clips here in just a little bit, like we do each week. But Amarian Harris had a bigger commitment, right? He had a bigger role in playing right tackle. Now, I think he's played a little bit of tackle here and there throughout his time at Arkansas, so not completely foreign to him, but way different than playing guard. And you're asked to do so many different things at tackle that you're not asked to do at guard. Um, I wouldn't say that the line had a completely terrible game. There were some opportunities, I think, that we'll talk about, we'll walk through, where I think we could have finished blocks a little bit better or just been in a little bit better position. But you really wanted to see that offense as a whole continue what they did against Tennessee and maybe take the next step, right? I know a few weeks ago we talked about getting 5% better, 10% better each week that you're in the offense. And I think maybe we just stayed stagnant or maybe took a little bit of a step back this week. And LSU brought some things to the table we've never seen. We're going to see a blitz here in just a little bit that I've never seen in all of my time playing football at any point. I've seen some crazy stuff. And so it's interesting. It was an interesting game. I think some of the breaks didn't go our way, and it allowed LSU's momentum to just get stronger and stronger. And then it almost felt like it was just insurmountable toward the end, and inevitably they took the dub home.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the tape. That's what people love. That's what we like to see. Go ahead and set it up and let us know what you think.
Yeah. So first play, we're going to jump into 10 minutes, 21 seconds in the first quarter. So I believe this is our first possession. LSU got the ball first. So here we go. Right off the bat, interesting play design here with Amarian Harris pulling to the inside. It's almost like a trap play where he's trying to get to the front side, but only makes it past the guard. I don't know if that's by design or not, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. We're allowing people to flow to the ball and fold back in. So if you look at, I believe it's number 18, maybe number 19, he's the linebacker just off the hash. And the backside block's supposed to be working up to him, but we get hung up and we don't get there. Now, you can't complain about a first down 5-yard gain. You love to see that. It's a good tone setter to start the game as offense. But I would love to see us work our way up there. And Amarian does a good job of getting on the linebacker. Now, number 40, unbelievable play in the game. Great football player. And, you got to give him credit. But he gets on the block, and, man, you're 320, 330 pounds and 6'6", 6'5". You can't let this guy throw you that way and be in on the play, because Jaquinton Jackson, we know, makes people miss. And you never know what these things could turn into. I just want to see us finish a little bit better when it comes to some of these plays, and I think we'll give our backs a little bit of reprieve on taking some of these hits.
Yeah. Obviously, Jaquinton taking a lot of hits, always having trouble kind of staying healthy throughout the whole game. And like you see, and the thing about 40, listen to this, Grant. Their best linebacker is out for the year, Perkins, all right? Just imagine those two on the field flying around. And so, but yeah, he was a special player. And as much as I hate giving any credit to LSU, I got to tip my hat to number 40. I mean, what he did on that football field, player to player, you got to appreciate what he did as a football player. That was impressive to watch. All right, what else you got for us, Cook?
Yeah, so jumping ahead a little bit, same drive, 7 minutes, 26 seconds left in the first, and this is the blitz I was talking about just a second ago. Jeez. So this defensive formation, I don't even know you can give it a name. We've got 4 defenders in a straight line on the hash, 5 yards off the ball. So the first one starts 5 yards off the ball. The furthest one's 10 yards off the ball. You got to know a mixture of them are coming. But what do you do? I mean, how do you block this thing up, right? And I think we did really all we could do on this. And I'll say it's a good design. It's a crazy design. It kind of got home. So we'll start over here on the right side with Amarian Harris. Obviously got to respect the defensive end that's standing up. So he sets to him. It's an inside move by him. And then you got your 2 linebackers containing, right, coming on the outside of the offensive line either way. And so what you'd want to see here is Josh Braun go and bump Amarian Harris off the block. And then Amarian comes and takes that contain man, who in this case is number 40, coming off the edge. Josh does a pretty good job. Amarian a little bit soft here. He kind of gets pushed in the backfield on the inside move, so it kind of messes up that chain reaction that we talked about when you're trying to bump all these blocks down the line to get a blitzing linebacker. Same thing on the other side. You just got to try to block it up. I mean, I don't know that this has ever been put on film that we could have coached up, right? That the coaches said, "Oh yeah, hey, this is this."
I was going to ask Grant, how many times do you think they ripped that look in practice?
Yeah, probably zero, unless it's like, I mean, you know how coaches are though, like especially Coach Petrino. He may go 4 or 5 years back in film to see certain blitz packages. They may have run this before. Now they do have a new head coach or newer head coach, so maybe not that far back. But and then I'll say that you've got to give Talon some credit here. I mean, just going to be an athlete. I mean, those two guys that are chasing him down are real football players, and he just rolls out of it, outruns both of them, and then he takes a pretty big shot over there on the sideline. And I know I'm here to talk about offensive line, but, man, Talon's kind of like an NFL rookie quarterback, right, where they're running down the field, they're staying in bounds and doing these types of things, not sliding, not doing this. We're 6 games in, 7 games in now. This is when, like, those first 3 or 4 games start to come back to haunt you a little bit. And, I mean, as good as anyone, I didn't take as severe of hits as you did. I just got hit more often. I hit somebody every play. But this is when it starts. You start to feel it in your legs. You start to feel it in your shoulder. You start to feel it in your back. We got to have him, and I'd like to see him maybe not take. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the toughness that displays, but you got to use your head a little bit and just understand where you don't need to take a hit, don't take one, right? And so
if it was right at the yard marker or the the first down, if it was right there, but he's good about understanding where the chains are. We've seen that all year of kind of get one more yard to get the first, and what he was about 4 or 5 yards away, and it's almost just like we still got a lot of football ahead of us. They got us,
I completely agree. I mean, if it's 3rd and 5 and you're running it and you need that 5th yard, lower your head, man, go get it.
Yeah.
But if you're 15 yards down the field, we got nothing to worry about. Just go ahead and go out of bounds, man. Live to fight the next play. So all right, next clip. Jumping into the very last play of the first quarter, 38 seconds left, and we got a problem, right? So this is the Dubinion fumble. Up front, I really don't mind the way it's blocked initially. Once again, we talk about we got to finish blocks. We have to stay on blocks. Cover up, color with color. So we give our backs 2-way goes. They can make a decision on which way they want to attack the defense. So Marion does a good job. I think his job here is just to really kind of pin that outside, that defensive lineman to the outside. Josh Braun does a really nice job keeping his feet here. If you look, he's got a 3 technique lined up on his outside shoulder. So 3 techniques on the outside shoulder of the guard. He comes inside, and a lot of times you'll see guards that are, big and maybe unathletic. They'll fall down and not be able to adjust to that movement. Josh does a great job here. Stabs it off, gives it to the center here, and works his way up to that front side linebacker. And I really want Addison Nichols to stay on that block. Assume that block, stay on it. And man, this thing is a gash. But instead, he falls off the block. Now 99 kind of dirties up the hole. And so Dubinion kind of gets turned sideways coming out. And I think people were saying, oh, you got to make this safety miss. Oh, if you're a running back, blah, blah, blah. But he came out sideways. And we can sit here and watch it in slow motion all day.
Yeah.
And say, oh, yeah, man, you just stick your foot in the ground, go north and south. Yeah, well, it's easy to say in slow motion, but that 10-yard gap that you're trying to make up happens in a blink of an eye. So, I think I agree, maybe try to make a miss, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here that coming out of the hole sideways, trying to get upfield, he runs into him, and then it's a great – I keep saying this, man. I want to give these guys credit, but really good play by the guy folding back over the top to punch the ball out from behind. I mean – that's what people are coached to do. And, when we lose the turnover battle, like most people that play football, most teams, it's really, really hard to win the game. And I think we had a lot of opportunities to stay in this even with all the adversity we saw in the first half and then part of the third quarter, to still go up and take the lead. And it just kept like the ball just kept bouncing the wrong way for us. So
do you feel like schematically, them throwing out these crazy looks, understanding what we've struggled with? We don't talk about this a lot, but here on this podcast, we're going to be fair and we're going to give credit when credit is due and criticism when it's also due. Did Coach P kind of get out schemed this game up front?
It's hard to say, man. I think that from the scheme standpoint, we had some opportunities there. I think that maybe we just didn't finish some stuff in certain places, right? And not just offensive lines, but I think Talon maybe got confused a little bit on some things. And there's some plays in here, and I don't know if we'll get to them in this segment, but there's some opportunities down the field that we could have taken advantage of. 100%. And for whatever reason, we didn't see it or they disguised it well enough, right? And so, every play in Coach Petrino's mind is designed to score, right? So, I think that we were there. We just have to make those plays. And that was really all over the field and not even taking anything, just the offense, but the defense too. We had some opportunities to intercept 2 or 3 of these passes that hit us right in the stomach or right in the numbers. You're holding up 4 of them. There's 4 opportunities that we need to go get those, right? We have to make those plays in games like this where LSU is the number 8 team in the country, rightfully or not. They're in your home. You got to make those plays for us to win the game. And they made them.
You don't need all 4 potential picks, but at least one. At least one. That just hurt. But we can get into the weeds with this, Grant. Let's go. We'll stay with the O-line and continue to go ahead and cook it up. We're gonna stay in the kitchen. That's where we're at right now. So what else you got as far as up front? Another run play, pass protection. What you thinking?
Yeah. We're gonna go pass pro here. And so this is second quarter, 10 minutes, 16 seconds left, midfield. They're up 13-0. Right? We got to go score. We have to go get points on the board to keep this thing competitive and to really give the defense something to fight for. If we don't get points here, then it really becomes we're going to stop them. If we don't stop them, now they're up 3 scores. And I don't want to say you see, the rope get let go of, but you can definitely feel the stadium start to deflate. And you felt that when it was 13-0. I mean, it was kind of like, oh man, it kind of got punched in the mouth here a little bit. The crowd was a little bit out of it. I think we did a really good job keeping them in it. I mean, for the play that was on the field and some of those things. But all right, 10 minutes, 16 seconds left in the second. We got a blitz here, and it looks like we're sliding to the left, okay? And the blitz is coming from the right side. There's not a whole lot you can do there. And so once again, this is kind of the last few weeks we've talked about. Talon has really got to start understanding these defenses and where pressure is coming from. Whether he wants the line to slide to pick up the blitz, then he has to tell them that. If he doesn't, then he's got to understand I'm hot off number 40. So 40 fires here.
Hey, can I ask you a question on this one, Grant? I was looking at this one the other day too, and I'd be paying attention to your breakdowns, Grant, and I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the offensive line. And if you really go back to the very beginning of this clip, I don't know if you have it. I don't know if I sent it to you. It's in the TV edit. The linebacker on the right side of the line of scrimmage, as Arkansas is kind of going through their fake cadence to kind of see what the defense is going to do. He sprints up to the line of scrimmage as if he's coming. Talon stops and he checks it. It's almost like he got him into, as you would say, a Liz protection, where sliding to the left, because he believed that was coming. But I think that was all for show to get Talon to check it. And then as soon as he did, they switched to his blitzing. I could be wrong, but it looks like that's what happened, because I'm not exactly sure what communication Talon was doing before the snap. I would assume it was changing the protection.
Yeah, it looks like you may be right. And so you can see him walk back up easy, right? And then gives him a call. And I'm trying to see if the center points to anybody here. So the center takes his head and looks out left. So I think yeah, you're probably right. Looks like he changed it. Josh Braun, everybody kind of looks out to the left, so he
Mm-hmm.
probably did give a full slide call. Um,
Is
now,
that not? Sorry to keep interrupting you.
no, you're good.
I think this is really cool football. And once again, I hate giving credit to LSU, but for the defensive coordinator to draw it up this way, he says, "Hey, when we do this, we're going to bait them into changing the protection because based off what they've probably seen on tape, they said surely they're coaching up Taylon Green to get to a slide protection. So let's show it and see if he makes the right call based off what he sees. I mean, do you think that chess match may be going on right now with the coordinators?
I 100% believe that that's true. And
That's pretty cool.
so,
Yeah.
and I'll get to a story, and you were involved in this story. But
Uh-oh.
10, okay, Alabama at Arkansas, we're number 10, they're number 1. Kirby Smart's the defensive coordinator. Obviously, Coach Petrino is calling the shots on offense for Arkansas. And Mallet, one of the most cerebral quarterbacks I've ever been around.
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I played with Aaron Rodgers and all that. I mean, as far as how the game is played and the mental piece of it, I got to put Mallet up there. I mean,
Yeah.
he was unbelievably smart. I remember vividly before we knew that really defenses would check out a blitz or flip blitzes or anything like that. Mallet
Yeah.
came up and gave us a whatever full line slide pro call, and you see the defense, they react to it, they check out of it. He comes back up, easy, easy, easy. Switch it. Now we're full line slide the other way. Defense checks back out of it. Easy, 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 easy. He goes back. I mean, they're sitting there going back and forth. I mean, like Mallet and these guys, he's like battling the defensive coordinator and mental capability of,
Yeah.
I'm gonna check to what I'm gonna put myself in the right position, or I'm gonna put my offense in the right position. And so I don't fault Taylor here per se. I know that in the beginning of the clip I said we've got us, but he does have to start understanding that, right? So now that's another element added to the game for him, right? Okay, now I see this blitz. I'm going to check to this blitz. Well, now you've got to start paying attention to other things than just that. Now it's a hard look because it's too high safety.
Yeah.
They can continue to switch that back and forth, but so Taylor does a good job here of getting out. 40 once again gets left in the dirt. Really, really good football player. And Taylor gets, a couple of yards there. But, man, I know some of these routes. We don't have the field view here, the real wide shot, but I know some of these routes are open downfield.
Yeah, they
if he
are.
If he could give himself a chance to get to the ball to the playmakers, this offense really starts to go. And that's kind of what I talked about earlier is we have to start seeing some of those things downfield. We've got to start giving ourselves a chance to be competitive.
Yeah, and I think, too, Grant, to give Razorback fans a little moment of relief, even on that perfectly drawn up chess play match of a defensive call that they called right there, Taylor still got out of it. And that could have been bad. And then they ended up going to go score on that drive. They overcame a holding call. They overcame a 2nd and 20 and still got down there and was able to put points on the board. And even as bad as it looked like they played, still the things on tape, Grant, are all fixable. And it would be different if they did everything right and still just couldn't keep up athletically, physically, and all that stuff. That's still not the case. And it just seemed like it was such a one-sided game, but it really wasn't when you really go back and watch the tape. And I think that is way more frustrating than giving up to this idea, oh, we suck, we don't belong. No, we actually don't. We're still just, unfortunately, learning something extremely complex at an extremely fast level. And I know that sounds like an excuse, and we don't have time to wait for all this to work. We want it to work now. But if I were to have any type of silver lining, it's at least we're not in the days where it didn't matter if we did everything perfect. We just can keep up. That's not the case. So I guess that's somewhat of a silver lining. And Grant, we're 4-3. If you were to ask anyone, including this guy, now I know some Razorback fans said I called this all along. If you would have said after 7 games we'd be 4-3, would you be happy? I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd be happy. Are you kidding me? 4-3 after 7 games? I said we'd be lucky to get 5 this year, and we're already, we should get 6. If we get 7, that'd be nice. But I'm going to say pump the brakes a little bit, fan base, on ready to jump ship, and we still got a lot of football left, and we got a football team that can compete with any team in the country.
Yeah, 100%. We showed it 2 weeks ago. And,
Yeah.
if you look at it, our 3 losses, right, are to Oklahoma State, who was a different team in September than they are today, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of their best defensive players got hurt against us. I think that's hurt them. Obviously, they don't look as good now as they had at that point. You really feel like that one got away from you, and that's okay. But your 2 other losses on the season are to arguably the 2 best teams in the SEC right now.
They are literally the 2 top teams in the SEC right now.
Correct. I mean, literally, one of them is undefeated in the SEC, and that's Texas A&M, and you took them down to the wire as well. We went through that. You had every opportunity to win that game. Guys, this is the 2008 version of Coach Petrino's offense. Yep. Think back to your fandom in 2008 when Coach Petrino came on campus. The offense did not, and I listened to Trey Biddy's walk and talk the other day. He threw a stat out there that said in 2008, Coach Petrino's offense, they did not score 4 touchdowns in any game.
Yeah.
Right? Dang. 2009, you're better. 2010, really good. 2011, I mean, we're 2010, 2011, arguably the 2 best seasons in Razorback history. So it's one of those things where just hang in there, right? I know that is such a cop-out and people want, the pound of flesh and all these things, but it's coming. I mean, it takes time to build the foundation. We've talked about it week in and week out, but I do want to jump into another clip before.
Wait! I have to say this because I know our viewers are typing up on their keyboard right now. Like, wait a minute. All right, I'll go ahead and address it, and then we'll get back into a few plays. And I know you're busy. You got bedtime, and I get all that. We'll just do 1 or 2 more. I'll leave that up to you. What you just said is 1,000% true. I don't know if it's possible in today's game because what we did when Coach Petrino was there, it took time, but everyone remained on the team. Now in football's landscape, you almost have a new roster every year. You've heard coaches say you have to get out of that old mindset and you have to go to the portal. You have to go to the portal. And I'm just thinking, how can you build consistency when you're playing with a new team every single year? Grant, is it possible to recreate what Coach Petrino did if he has a new roster every year?
I think you have to keep key components, right? Taylor being one of them.
Quarterback has to be it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be able to have consistency there. And I think if you can do that at each position, right? So if you can keep a couple of key people at each position year over year and keep those folks happy, whatever that means nowadays in the landscape of college football, then you have an opportunity to continue that consistency, right? Because the younger guys are going to look up to the older guys. And when an older guy comes in, he's going to have the opportunity to learn someone that's his age or that's been in the offense and can maybe break it down in a different way than a coach can to you, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for the offensive line. If you can keep 3 out of the 5 and the other 2 can keep up, it also matters who you go get in the portal, right? Are you getting guys that can learn? Are you going to get top-tier players that, I mean, it's no different than going to the NFL as a rookie or going to a new team mid-season. If you're good, you're playing. They expect you to be a pro and learn the playbook. And if that's how they think, if that's how things are nowadays with unrestricted free agency, essentially, then that's going to be the name of the game. So you're going to have to put it on the players to make it happen.
You know what would be nice, Grant? You know what was a big motivator to learn that playbook in the NFL? If you didn't, they just cut your ass. Period. Maybe we need to do that in college football. Hey, got to pull your scholarship, man. You got to go. We'll find something. That's a different motivator. No doubt about it. Hey, all that money in it, we're going to pull that.
Yeah.
Find somebody else who can get it done.
Zero guarantees on any of that cash. So, yeah. You never want to be the guy that sees somebody walk in with their gym bag and you're like, does he play offensive line? Yeah, he does. Like, okay. And then he kind of walks through, goes to the training room, whatever, and you're like, everybody's kind of looking around at each other like, somebody's not going to be here.
Do you remember the day you got cut? And if you do, how far away was the guy when you noticed he was coming for you?
Oh, all the way across the locker room. I'll never forget, man.
Oh man.
I cannot remember the dude's name who came in, but he came in like shorts and a t-shirt, had a gym bag, went into the
Green
players'
Bay.
lounge. Yeah, Green Bay.
Elliot Wolf, right?
Maybe
Am I making
Greg Van
Anyway.
something. It don't matter. I got cut.
Yeah.
So, oh, you talking about the guy who cut you? Yeah, Elliot.
Yeah, you know,
Yes,
Elliot.
yes.
He's the one who came and got you.
Yeah. Elliot came down. He was like, "Hey, man, we had iPads at that point, right? It wasn't a playbook. It was just your iPad." He was like, "Hey, man, you want to run upstairs real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay," And he's like, "Hey, go ahead and grab that iPad." I'm like, "Oh, no."
No, I'll never forget it. When I was at Green Bay and I got cut, and it was one of those where we had 5-6 tight ends, and I was kind of like on the fence, and I didn't play great my last preseason game, but I was like, man, I may be able to squeeze through because it's going to be tight. I'm sitting at the house, right, and that phone starts ringing, and as soon as it rang, I just said, "Damn, let me go ahead and answer this Green Bay area code real quick." He said, "DJ," I was like, "I'm on my way." All right, I already knew it was coming.
Oh yeah.
And but I tell you, when I got cut for like the third time when I was in Tampa, I knew what I was there for. I was there to fill in a week. I went to the stadium before they even had a chance to call me and cut me. I said, "Oh, I'm already here. Let's go ahead and knock this out and get up out of here."
Let me get one more free smoothie on my way up.
Yeah, let me go ahead and head that nutrition room real quick. Actually, let me get some of them shorts.
Yeah. Hey, can I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and it's the same conversation for everybody, man. You're a great player. You're really good. And like, okay, well, why are you cutting me then?
By the third time I got cut, I said, "Coach is cool. All right, I'm up out of here, man. You ain't got to lie to me real quick. We get it."
Yeah, don't even go through the spiel, man. Hey, we're gonna give you a one-way ticket.
You wouldn't be cutting my ass, huh?
Yeah. And hey, go talk to Matt. He'll hook you up with a ticket, but it's one way.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go, you ain't coming back. You're going out, not coming back. Oh man!
All right, give me one more play. We're tight on time. Give me one more play.
I got you, man. I got you. I'm going to see if I can find it in the clips here. I don't know. I don't know if we've got it in here, but I can talk to it because I really I watched it back the other day, yesterday. So essentially, what I'm talking about is Carmona's on the left side of the offensive line, bottom of the screen, and we'll maybe find the clip so we can put it up as I'm talking through it. But he sets to the defensive end. Okay, he sets to the defensive end. The defensive end comes off the ball. He snaps his eyes. He sees that he's not rushing with much intent. Right? When I say that, he's not coming up the field, really trying to get into a pass rush. It's almost like he's just trying to occupy time. And what happens is the linebacker fires through the B gap, and Blackstock, Addison, all the guys from Blackstock over to the right tackle are all tied up with the blitz on this end, and this linebacker fires. And what Carmona does is he sets the defensive end, realizes, hey man, this guy's he's not coming to blitz or coming to rush. His eyes snap back inside, and he's able to go ahead and take on this linebacker that's coming up field. And what he does, the defensive end continues his rush, and Taylon's able to get the ball off. But really, it's because Carmona tied that defensive end up long enough and then came in and picked up the blitzing linebacker.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a couple of steps that Taylon got this ball off by. And I'm pretty sure it was a big play down the middle of the field that we were able to connect
You're
on.
talking about second quarter, 9 minutes, 48 seconds. It's the play after that blitz where number 40 came screaming through.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. So
this is it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
And so you just talked us through it. So I'll throw some video on there later. So the viewers already saw it. All right. Yeah. So that's the play I wanted to ask you about.
That is an incredible IQ play, and I don't know. Maybe he's just reacting out there. Maybe he's thinking. I'm not sure, but that ball does not. That's a sack, one way or another. If he stays inside, defensive end comes free. If he stays on the defensive end, you got number 18 running downhill full tilt. That's the only way. What he does there is the only way that ball gets thrown.
That's awesome, man.
It's super impressive. It's super, super impressive. The one thing else I want to point out in this play, I just looked at the right side. And Marion coming out and tackle, you got to give him a little bit of grace because he's not been playing out there. He was setting a little bit flat in this game as well. And so on this play in particular, Carmona and Blackstock look to be on the man side of this. If you look at the top of the screen, Addison, Josh Braun, and Marion Harris are responsible for the two rushers, number 99 and whoever that stand-up end is, number 35 maybe, or no, It's not 35. It's whatever the stand-up end is at the top of the screen.
Probably number 4. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe so. And Marion has got to get some depth here. He can overset this guy knowing he's got help to the inside.
Yep.
Go ahead and overcommit, right? I know we talked about last week. You always want to stay on the inside half and don't let him, beat you back to the inside. But if you have a slide pro, man, I remember DeMarcus Love was the best. He was like, man, I got speed out here, dog. So he's setting back and he's inviting that person to come inside because I'm gonna stick my face mask right in his armpit and try to knock his head off. Nice. And that's what you want him to do, right? But it's almost like we're trying to take that block over on our own and just taking our help completely out of the game. Let Josh Braun go out there and rock this dude's world. That's his whole responsibility. And it sets a tone. I mean, just like we talked about the running backs earlier in this clip, when they're getting hit and turning sideways and it's a long season and all these things, talking about Talon getting hit, defensive linemen are the same way. I mean, the more that a guard comes and just blows them up over there while they're occupied by a tackle, over the course of a game, they're kind of sitting there thinking, like, do I really want to rush that hard now? Because this dude's about to come knock my block off. Like, I'm going to maybe tailor it back just a little bit on this one. So I
want to ask you, and I know you're going to be – you're out of the 4 of us who do the podcast now, you're the nicest, all right? And I appreciate that about you. What you just explained in a slide pro, that right tackle, when it's sliding to his side, he should be like, oh, thank God. You know, I can easily overset this. I got my whole inside protected. There's no way I'm going to be beat outside on this one.
Correct.
Then why is he getting beat outside on that one? Like, what do you think is happening from meeting room to practice to game field that's preventing him to not oversetting? Because that he should hear that protection and just feel like, yes, I can't mess this up. And
correct.
What's happening there? Because the way you explain it to me, if I were a player and I heard you as my coach say that would stick with me and I wouldn't mess that up. How do you explain that?
I think it's a poor set. I mean, honestly, and like I said, I'm going to give him a little grace here because he's at tackle. He's been used to taking guard sets, which are more flat generally, not depth.
True.
You don't want depth at guard, right? Because you're up the middle. You're going to collapse the pocket.
Grant's just cooking it up, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. He's been playing guard all year. It makes sense why he'd be taking a guard step.
It's muscle memory, I think, right? I mean, he's played seven games, 6 games, whatever our record is down here on the screen. 7 games, and he's been taking flat sets, trying to keep the front of that line where it is, keeping it concrete so Taylor can step up if he needs to and all those things. So I think it's muscle memory for him right now, but you're correct. Everything you said is right. When you hear, oh, I've got XYZ, whatever play it is that I know the slide's coming my way, it's like, and as a guard too, you're like, I can't screw this up. I literally can't screw this up. I just have to keep my hand on this defensive tackle, give the center help. If I even think that this defensive end is coming inside, I'm going to hit him as hard as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Ray and D-Love, as you start to learn this offense more, you can set up a defensive end to get absolutely clobbered. I mean, and they used to do it. They'd overset him, and that guy's thinking, done. I'm coming inside.
I'm gonna slip inside.
And you got a Wade Grayson, a Alvin Bailey, a Grant Cook. And this before targeting. So, man, I mean, you come in there and stick the top of your head in the bottom of their face mask, man, and try to knock them out. It's that play and the backside of a screen when the screen was called away from you at guard, where So you got guard, center, guard in a screen. Front side guard goes, kicks out, center turns up. And we used to call the backside guard the cleanup man. And so it's for any defensive lineman that's like, oh, they're throwing a screen and they turn around. So you just peel back. And, I mean, you can crack back on people. I mean, you see my helmet up here. There's some hammers on the back of this helmet.
Yeah.
From just blindsiding defensive linemen on you can't do it anymore. You can't do it anymore. But yeah, those were the days, man. But honestly, that's what you want to see out of this. Like, you want to see him set deep. You can't get beat. The worst thing you can do is get beat to the outside when you got a slide pro coming to you. So go ahead and set deep, man. Overset him. Josh Bryan or Blackside, they're there. Their eyes are in the B gap. They're waiting for him to come in. Just let them do it. And so I hope that they're saying the same things and having these same conversations in the meeting room. And that's kind of what we pride ourselves here in these conversations is we've sat through it. I've been chewed out for that. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do because I got my ass ripped for not doing it. Right. And so that's the thing. That's what we want to do here is bring that to the people. This is a meeting room session and it goes long and it gets in the weeds and all these things. Yeah. But, I mean, as we start to learn, and I hope it starts to come quick, this offense is just like on the brink of doing things that we've seen it do in the past, but we need all 11 people to do their job the right way, and that's when it happens.
Grant, always great stuff, my friend. Appreciate your time. Sorry we went a little bit long.
All good.
But man, it's just good stuff, man. I appreciate it, man. And shout out once again to DDK Forestry and Real Estate for making this segment happen. A proud sponsor. I can't even get a hat. Grant's got merch. What are we doing? Come on, man. Rightfully deserved, though. Grant, I really appreciate the time you take each and every week to bring this incredible content and this insight. All right, now go tuck that little girl in and give her a kiss goodnight. All right.
No, man, I'm on it right now. Headed that way. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Yep. Have a good one.
All right.